Since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Hungary has consistently called for an immediate ceasefire and peace talks. And for our refusal to toe a line set by the US and the EU, for our refusal to supply weaponry and ammunition to Ukraine, we have been given a drubbing in the international media. Shockingly, Western news outlets have chosen to ignore the reasons behind Hungary's decision to have nothing to do with the orgy of violence and death which seems to have gripped the rest of the continent. We think it's time to explain why Hungary is refusing to join the warmongers. Point 1. Hungary neighbors Ukraine. That fact in itself changes everything. It's very easy to send weapons and ammunition if you can rest assured that not a single shell is going to come close to hitting your territory. Neighbors need to be more circumspect. Point 2. History. It's always with us. Central Europe, with Hungary in it, lost badly in the world wars of the 20th century. Following World War II, Central Europe was lost to the Soviet Union for half a century. People who are aware of that fact are naturally more circumspect. Point 3. History. It didn't end. Hungary was only relatively recently freed from the maw of the Soviet Union. Rebuilding what was a planned economy took decades. Hungary has made huge strides since 2010, the economy's back on track and doing well. Investment continues to break records year after year. Investment and economic growth rely on stability. War is not stable. The US might have branches of its economy which are ready to make money from conflict, but Hungary's economic players are players of a peacetime economy. Having no means to profit from conflict automatically makes us more circumspect. Point 4. History. It remains. A little publicized fact is that between 150 to 200,000 ethnic Hungarians live in what is now Ukraine. Why? Well, following defeat in World War I, Hungary suffered the cruelest of punishments. More than 2/3 of the country were gifted to neighboring countries. This meant that a large percentage of the population suddenly became ethnic minorities in other countries. Hence, 150 to 200,000 Hungarians living in a country now at war with Russia, very aware of the fact that weapons supplies only ever increase conflict. Hungary refuses to let weapons bound for Ukraine cross its territory. Hungary refuses to supply weapons or ammunition to Ukraine. With so many potential Hungarian targets, Hungary is obliged to be circumspect. But what about the other, rather disturbing aspect of the conflict? What about the fact that as regards Ukraine versus Russia, left-wingers, traditionally born of grassroots, working-class communities are calling for more war, not less? Where are the left-wingers who see war as a brutal extension of class struggle? Well, they're no longer seen or heard, apparently. Modern, self-declared left-wingers want the destruction of Putin by proxy. They don't approve of him. The fact that the Russians do is of no consequence. Obviously Western left-wingers know what's best for anyone at any given time. Modern, self-declared left-wingers want the destruction of Putin and are quite prepared to send Ukrainians to their deaths to achieve their goals. Hungarian left-wingers are no exception. Hungarian opposition parties have taken the king's shilling. They have sold their sordid souls to the NGOs of the USA. They've all received their 30 pieces of silver from Uncle George Soros and his nefarious network, and now they're doing what they've been told to. The Hungarian left, following orders from those who finance them, are acting as cheerleaders for the continuation of the war between Russia and Ukraine. That means that the Hungarian left, like the majority of the European Parliament and the American Senate, are trying their hardest to expand the war. That means that the Hungarian left are advocating for death and destruction in the heart of Europe. That means we all have a simple choice to make. On the 9th of June, when Hungary holds local and EP elections, consider the fact that a vote for the opposition is a vote which encourages death and destruction of one of our neighbors. A vote for the government parties, on the other hand, is a vote for peace. Vote for peace. Together we are obliged to try to stop death and destruction.